Hey, what's up, YouTube famo? There's a couple things on my mind. One of them's pretty good. I'm a dad. I got three kids, as anyone who's been watching a few of my channels knows. One of the things I struggle with as a dad is screen time. These video games and YouTube got my kids addicted to the screen. Now, I thought it would be good to because I got a hold of a plan through a new phone. I got a Moto now, and they have a way, and I kept the monthly bills nice and low. But then they have a way of kind of getting you to ramp it up. They're like, oh, well, geez, you got a free tablet coming. I'm like, oh, really? Next thing you know, now my bill's $93 a month. And they're hitting me up, you can get a watch really cheap. I'm like, I'm done. No, no, no. But I got the tablet. And I let the kids play on it. And I have them work for some tablet time, some screen time. And they're always fighting over it. But it's a struggle, man. It is a struggle because I turn around, they're on the tablet. I take it. I run off. I hide it, and they find it, and they're on the tablet, or they sneak it. They lost it, but it's not lost. It's hidden under someone's pillow, and it's a constant struggle. And I'm so sick and tired of just having to yell at the kids, discipline the kids, and I'm like, the real problem is the tablet. Sometimes I just have to take the tablet and disappear, you know? I got no, it went out. But, I actually I asked Grok, believe it or not, and I told Grok, I'm like, man, Grok, I'm struggling with my kids with screen time. They're always on the video games, and I'm poor. I don't have any money to put them in these nice programs. I'm rural. I'm deep. I'm not deep in the country, but I'm deeper in the. I'm not near the city. I'm certainly not city, and I don't have access to all these programs, and to keep my all this kid's classes. He's a smart kid. My son's really is a very smart kid. He's very book smart, And I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. And Grok came back and he was like, this is a problem with all parents. Like, in 2025, this is a common parent problem. Now, video games aren't all evil, Some of them can really teach your kid a lot about problem solving skills and stuff, but definitely too much is not healthy. And Grok told me, he said, believe it or not, you have a lot more going for you than you think. A lot of parents out there almost wish they were in the position you were, because you got the land, you got animals, you got plans, you're working on the house all the time. You can drag your son away from the house, give him work to do. It's outdoor works, working with his hands. You can have him use some of the tools you got. And I'm really struggling, and it's tough, and I'm trying to get my kids more involved with my work. And he's right in terms of I do have a lot more going for me than a lot of parents. Some of the parents that they got a lot of money but they work a lot of hours, they can't even spend time with their kids like that, Sometimes parents are working from home and their kids are just acting like wild animals and they have to hush them up so that they can work remotely, And they just have to put the kids on the tablet because at least they'll be quiet. So I feel for that. I don't have those problems. But anyway, that's something I'm going to try to push more and more for, to try to get my kids more involved in outdoor activities, exploring the land. I got these little kittens. They ran out of the house. They're still tumbling around. They always catch the kids' attention. There's a lot of things I could do. I get my son more involved in the home repairs. And what's funny is my son has no interest in the home repairs. It's my littlest. My littlest daughter is just wants to get involved with everything I do around the house. People who've been watching my channel for a while probably caught that, probably seen that. It's like you always see my little apprentice. She's the one that wants to be involved. but I'll take any blessing I can get on that, you know? And once again, I'm moving on towards a little bit towards spirituality with you guys, just to try to, I owe it as a responsibility to you to help you out with your spiritual health if you need the help. So, lots of times people pray to God and they say things like, God, if you hook me up, then I'll do this. It's like a bartering system to them. Like, God, if you bless me with this, I'm going to give $1,000 to charity, or something like that. But what they're where they're mistaken is, consider this: God is not the boss or the prime minister or the president. He's the king, right? Everywhere you read in the Bible and even believe in the Quran and everything, he is the king. And he expects to be treated like the king. And when you're talking to the king, you don't go, like, let's say you're talking to the King of England or the King of France. You don't go over there, get an audience with the king and say, hey, if you hook me up with this contract, I'll present you with gifts. You don't do that. You show up right off the rip, presenting yourself to the king. You get an audience with the king and you present the gifts first. That's what you do first. Then you can ask for favors after you've already presented your gifts. Also, I'm going to mention this book again, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and a guy who breaks down all this proper money management and how to be responsible with your money, but also a little bit risky, but not too risky. You get the idea. He also says you got to give money to charity. He says it's just the way money flows. Money goes out, money comes in. You gotta give something out to people to help them. You owe that. You have to do that. If you take every dollar and you never give any of it to charity or to help anyone out, you'll never succeed financially. You'll never succeed. Like, even me, I'm poor. Okay, I'm poor. But I specifically said to myself that every time I'm at a stoplight and someone comes up begging for money, give them $1. And no matter how broke I've been, even when someone comes up to the window, somehow I can find 4 quarters. Or I even find $1 in my pocket. I always got that. It's real odd. It's just how that dynamic works. I made that promise to myself, and I didn't even do it as a bartering to God. I just said, I need to give something. I'm not giving anything to charity to help anyone. And I said, now whenever anyone comes up to the window, give them $1. And no matter how broke I've been able to do that. And you know what? Whenever I get in hard financially, somehow I'm always able to get the money. Somehow. I'm always able to find a way to give $1 to some bum at my window. Somehow I'm always able to get enough money in order to pay a bill that I don't know what I'm going to do with. When I say I don't know how I'm going to do this, I don't know. It's the math ain't mathin', as Taraji P. Henson said. But somehow, some way, we get through. And somehow, some way, I'm always able to give away that $1. So it's something to consider. And I hope you guys take that to heart, and I hope that my little stories and my little perspective can enrich your perspective on life. Or maybe it's just brain candy what I'm saying, and you're just like, funny story, John. Maybe. Either way. But you got to like, comment, and subscribe. And that's what you got to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. Take the thumb and smash that bell button for notifications, all right? I'll talk to you later, man. I'm going to try to keep putting out content more often. I took like a good 3 months off. That's not good. If I cared at all, anyone who cares about their YouTube channel doesn't take 3 months off of making content. But I had a lot going on. But that's no excuse. I could still shoot a video like this where it's just me being a slob and I got something to say. The hell, a lot of people with highly successful YouTube channels are just doing that. They're just sitting in their room with a microphone in their hand, and they got something to say. Sweat in my eye. Anyway, guys, talk to you later.